Let's get some water. God, I hate when I talk to my mom and she's like, you just post what you want. You can talk all you want. And I'm like, but the internet's bullying me into silence. I just feel less and less like talking. Getting quieter and quieter and quieter. She said, my darling, use your voice. My mother. Yeah. So a terrible thing has happened, and I wanted to talk about stuff and about the importance of watching for signs of poor mental health. So I have bipolar disorder, and my friends have been checking on me, my family's been checking on me, because I've been a little depressed lately, and I have been aware of it. I see certain signs of depression, such as poor eating habits. I'm seeing a slippage. Like, I'm not exercising as much, and I'm not eating as well, and I'm not exercising, and I'm seeing a slip in the way that I'm meditating. I'm not doing my full program. I'm just only doing it 20 minutes twice a day, instead of doing like the hour-long full program that I usually do. So it's sort of like small changes that show that I'm lacking energy and it's showing that I'm lacking motivation, and that's a sign of depression. I've been crying more. I'm irritable. I'm going within, and I'm just kind of shutting down in a sense. So, and people have been checking on me. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, yeah. I'm just kind of going through stuff right now. I'm processing information. I feel as though I'm just kind of going through a mental process right now of trying to just deal with things right now. I feel like I don't know, I'm just going through something right now. I can feel it. I'm not sure what it is. I think I might be going through a summertime depression, or because my sister left, and it was kind of like around that time. There's a lot of stuff going on with my family, but I'm feeling just kind of a general malaise, a general sadness right now. I can feel it. It's just this general depression. But I'm glad that people are checking on me, because my friend, did a checking with my mental health. He said, "Are you okay? Have you been talking to your therapist?" And I said, "Yeah, I've been, I'm checking with everything." But you know, uh, I don't know. I just noticed that, like, I've noticed that I've been kind of, because I was kind of up, and then I was like cleaning and doing stuff, and then I noticed that, like, there was sort of, I guess it could be considered like a disappointment but there's just sort of like a depression because it's sort of like I keep struggling so hard in my life, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere in my life, that I'm just, and that I'm not making connections with people, and that I'm not, that I don't have like enough real world connections with people I care about. Like, I don't have real friends. And I think that's sort of part of my frustration, is that I just don't have enough real life connections with people. That I have my friend Donnie, and I have my family, and I have my, like my sister and my mom, but I don't have like a whole lot of friends. And I think that's what's really got me depressed, is that I just don't have like a lot of real life connections. And that's part of the thing that I was depressed, like angry. I think that's part of the thing I was like frustrated about with the thing with the journals with John and Hank, is that I was attempting to make a connection, but it's just hero worship. It's not a real life connection. It's just hero worship. And I think that all of this really culminates into the fact that, like, my mom's friend's daughter's husband, so my mom's friend's daughter's husband, her husband, had undiagnosed bipolar as well. So he has bipolar, like, or he had bipolar like I did, had bipolar. And that he just had a very severe episode, very severe depressive episode. So I think it's just kind of in the air as well. The depression is kind of just that there's something that summer kind of causes more people to be depressed. I heard a figure about that. The summertime kind of causes depression in people. Because I usually get depressed around this time of year too. I think I've noticed that about myself. There's something about the heat, and something about this just creates like an atmosphere of depression. Hang on, let me go drink some water. And so, he, unfortunately, has, taken his own life. And so I was really shocked to hear that. I was not surprised to hear that, because the problem with being unmedicated and bipolar, is that our life expectancy is only about like 64, 60. It's in the 60s. And he was 48. We, as bipolar patients, our life expectancy is not very long. And it's because we tend to, especially unmedicated, because we have a hard time taking medication, tend to unalive ourselves. We tend to are not long for this world because we don't medicate and don't stay medicated, get into a depression, and then we'll unalive ourselves. And that's pretty normal for people with bipolar. So it's very sad, but it's actually quite common for people with bipolar. And so I'm quite concerned because I have a cousin who also has bipolar, and I have a stepsister who also has bipolar, and they're both unmedicated. And so I'm very concerned about them, because I want everybody to get, I don't think that everybody needs to be medicated necessarily, because I think that there are ways of managing symptoms, but in general, I think that medication is a viable option. And I think that if you have severe enough bipolar that you should consider medication and therapy, and get a support system going. But most people don't know how to look for the signs of bipolar, because there's so much stigmatization around mental illness, especially some of the more ugly and scary mental illnesses such as bipolar, because, we tend to villainize those mental illnesses in the media as being scary. And there's a lot of stigmatization around psychosis, that they're going to hurt other people, when in fact people who have mental illness or in psychosis are much more likely to be hurt by others. So there's a lot about bipolar and like schizophrenia too. There's a lot about that they're more likely to be the victims of crimes and violence than being the victimizers. And it's hard because it's a shame, because we don't look for the signs, and we think that everybody's doing okay. Maybe they're struggling a little bit, and we think like it's going to get better, and we rationalize it to ourselves, like maybe they're just having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, and it's like it's going to get better and it's going to get better, and maybe they're just having in a bad mood, and like maybe we're arguing this time, and it's been a bad month, and they're just going through a rough patch. And like you keep thinking like they don't need to talk to somebody. I don't need to talk to a therapist. That's for crazy people. Crazy people only talk to therapists, and crazy people only take medication, and crazy people only do this, and I'm not crazy, and blah 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 blah. And then it gets so bad that one day they're gone. And I don't know the exact details of this guy. I'm not saying the exact details of this guy about whether or not that was his circumstance. So, I don't know exactly what happened with him, or like between their relationship, if she knew the signs or saw the signs, but it's just, it's so hard. It's so hard, because you think like, because the worst part is that survivor's guilt. That's the worst part. You think, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And so I messaged her and I said, I hope you find healing. It's so sad. It's so sad, because you think like they've been together for 20 years or so, and you think like she probably got so used to all of those, to all the moods and the things, and she just thought that was just his personality, because that was me. My family was like, oh, you're just quirky, you're just eccentric, because that was the way they described me. You were just eccentric. And they didn't realize, for the longest time that I had bipolar, that I had something wrong with me. They just thought that I was just quirky and weird and eccentric. They didn't realize that I had like a full-fledged mental illness that was slowly over time eroding my mental health and debilitating me. That sometimes I would get really worked up and I would, get super excited about things and I would do so much. And then I would fall flat on my face and I just couldn't do things. I couldn't survive. I was struggling to do the bare minimum. I would just get super focused and go so hyper focused on things, and then I would just fall flat on my face and just be like, I can't even get out of bed. And that's how I am. That's what it means to be bipolar, is that you get into these cycles of high energy and high moods, and then you fall flat on your face. And it's so hard to work through those ups and downs. It's so, you strive to create some kind of balance in your life where you just move like a steady engine. I strive so hard to be a steady engine where I can just do the same thing over and over again and just have a daily schedule. It's so hard because the ups go up and you think that's my steady engine. Like, I can maintain this high average, and you're like, I can pump out all of this, and you fall flat on your face and you're like, maybe this is my average, the lowest low. And that's not your average, because not doing anything is just as bad. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. I'm telling you. I'm laughing about it. I'm smiling about it. But it's really, I laugh because I cry. It's really the worst thing. It's the worst thing, because I tell you, I've been crying about it for days. And I don't know if I have tears in me about it. I've been quiet I just sit in my apartment and I don't talk to anybody. I talk to my cat, maybe. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get my laundry. And I gotta go to the post office. Okay.